The jungle stretched endlessly, a thick green ocean of life. Vines hung like ropes from ancient trees and enormous leaves blocked the sun, leaving the forest floor in shadow. Strange sounds echoed everywhere, chirps, growls, and soft hums that no human had heard before. Yet something moved differently in this jungle, something older than the trees themselves. A team of alien explorers stepped cautiously through the undergrowth. Their skin shimmered faintly under the filtered light, and their eyes glowed with careful curiosity. Each of them carried small devices, scanning for energy signatures that their species could detect. Their sensors beeped softly, but one reading stood out, a massive hidden object emitting faint pulses. "What is it?" one of the explorers asked. "Ancient," another replied. "By our records, it is older than the oldest settlements on this planet, maybe 4 centuries. The team pushed forward, guided by the pulsing energy. The jungle thickened, twisting around them as if trying to hide the object. Then they saw it, a massive ship, half buried in vines and soil, its metal surface rusted and green with moss. The ship was enormous, taller than the largest trees, and its shape was strange, with sharp edges softened by centuries of decay. "This is incredible," whispered one of the explorers. "Who built it?" None of them knew. The ship bore no markings recognizable to their civilization. Its technology was alive in some way. The sensors showed faint energy flows that responded to movement nearby, as if the ship itself were watching. Suddenly, a sound came from the jungle floor behind the explorers, a crunch of leaves and snapping twigs. They turned, ready to defend themselves, but saw only a single figure moving confidently toward the ship. It was human. The explorers froze. Humans were known in history as a strong and clever species, but no human was supposed to be on this planet. Not alone, not after 400 years. Yet there he was, stepping through the jungle like he belonged there, unafraid of the alien predators and the dangerous plants. His clothing was simple, functional, worn but clean. His eyes shone with intelligence and calm purpose. The ship trembled. Lights flickered along its hull. Mechanical limbs twitched. Panels shifted and hummed with power. The aliens whispered to each other, their fear growing. They had never seen a ship react like this. Not to their scanners, not to their voices, only to the human. The human stopped a few meters from the ship and studied it. His hand lifted and the vines covering the hull shrank slightly, almost as if they recognized him. The energy pulses of the ship increased, brightening in patterns that no one could understand. The aliens took a cautious step back. The human walked closer. The ship trembled again, more strongly, like it was waking from a very long sleep. Small doors opened, releasing a hiss of air. Panels moved, revealing glowing symbols that floated in mid-air. The human's eyes scanned them and he smiled faintly. "I've been waiting a long time for this," he said softly, though the aliens could not understand the language. Still, they felt the weight of his words. Confidence, knowledge, authority. One of the aliens tried to step forward, but the ship reacted violently. Mechanical arms shot out, swinging toward them, but stopped just short of contact. The human held up his hand and the arms froze. The glowing symbols rearranged themselves, forming patterns that seemed to answer him. The aliens watched, amazed and fearful. The human moved as if he understood the ship's language instinctively. He pressed a hand to a glowing panel and the ship shuddered in response, releasing energy in a low hum that vibrated through the jungle. "You control it," whispered one of the aliens. The human looked at them, calm and measured. "It recognizes me. I belong here just as it does." He moved through a small opening in the hull and the aliens followed, hesitant but curious. The interior of the ship was like nothing they had seen. Smooth surfaces mixed with organic shapes. Bioluminescent panels lit the halls in soft blue and green lights. Strange symbols floated in the air, shifting as if alive. The human walked confidently, touching panels and levers. Each time he moved, the ship responded, opening doors, activating small platforms, and pulsing with energy. The aliens could barely keep up. "This technology," one of them whispered. "It's alive, and it listens to him." The human paused in front of a large console. Holographic images flickered to life, showing humans in strange suits moving across distant planets. They were humans from centuries ago, explorers, scientists, pioneers. Their faces smiled, some stern, some joyful, as if recording messages for someone who might come long after them. The human looked at the holograms with a mixture of awe and recognition. "I am here because you waited," he said. "I am here because it is time." The alien stepped back uncertain. The human's words had a power they could not explain. Even though they did not understand him, they felt the truth in them. The ship seemed to acknowledge this too. Its energy pulses became steady, strong, almost as if it were breathing. Suddenly, a loud grinding sound echoed from deeper in the ship. Sections that had been sealed for centuries began to open. Small repair drones emerged, hovering around, repairing damaged panels. The jungle's vines that had wrapped the hull began to retract as though respecting the human's authority. The aliens stared, unable to hide their amazement. This single human, alone, had awakened a ship that had slept for 4 centuries. It responded to him instinctively, without manuals, without tools, without force. Just presence, understanding, and will. The human turned to the aliens. "This ship was built to survive, to protect, to carry our legacy across the stars. It waited for someone who could understand it. Someone who could awaken it." He paused, looking at the jungle outside the massive hull. "Now we begin." The aliens exchanged glances. They had thought humans were strong, clever, maybe even lucky. But now they saw the truth. Humans were extraordinary, fearless in the face of danger, smart enough to command machines older than memory, brave enough to step into the unknown. The jungle seemed to hum in agreement. Even the strange creatures paused, sensing the change in the air. The ship thrummed with power, alive and aware. The humans stepped further inside, leading the way. The aliens followed, hesitant but filled with awe. Outside, the jungle held its breath. The lost ship of 4 centuries was awake, and humanity had returned to claim it. The interior of the ship was unlike anything the aliens had ever seen. Walls glowed with soft, shifting lights, and floors hummed underfoot as if the ship itself were alive. Strange symbols floated in the air, twisting and turning in complex patterns. Every corner was filled with movement, small machines repairing panels, holographic maps blinking into life, and vents opening to release fresh, filtered air. The human moved confidently through the corridors. His fingers brushed over panels, levers, and screens, and each time the ship responded. Doors opened smoothly, lights adjusted to his pace, and holographic images flickered into clarity. He seemed to know instinctively what each symbol meant and how to make the ship work again. The aliens followed behind, trying to make sense of the technology. Their sensors picked up energy flows they could not understand, reading pulses that shifted and flowed like living creatures. One of them, the smallest of the group, whispered, It listens only to him. No one else can awaken it." The human paused in front of a large chamber, its doors sealed with ancient locks. He placed both hands on the surface, and the locks clicked open. The doors slid aside silently, revealing a room filled with holographic displays, floating star maps, and what appeared to be records of long-lost missions. The aliens gasped. This was history. Human history, lost for 4 centuries, hidden in a ship they had thought abandoned. Holograms showed humans walking on strange worlds, building settlements, studying alien life forms, and recording knowledge. Some images were cheerful, humans celebrating small victories. Others were serious, showing hard work, danger, and determination. The human's eyes shone as he studied the displays. "This is our legacy," he said softly. "This is what we were meant to protect. And now it is awake again." He tapped a floating panel and a holographic map expanded. Stars, planets, and travel routes were highlighted. One route pulsed brightly, different from the others. The human's gaze focused there, his expression calm but intense. "That path, it leads to the lost colonies," he murmured. "They waited for us too." The aliens watched in awe. They had studied humans as a species, but this display of instinct and understanding was beyond anything they had imagined. The human needed no manuals, no training, no instructions. He understood by observing, by thinking, by feeling. Suddenly, alarms blared. Red lights flashed, and small drones emerged from hidden panels. The ship's defense systems had activated. The aliens panicked, unsure of what to do. The human raised a hand. The drones froze midair. Then slowly, he moved toward them, speaking softly in a language that no alien knew. Yet the drones responded, lowering their weapons and hovering peacefully. "See?" he said to the aliens. "It trusts me. It knows I am not a threat." The aliens exchanged amazed glances. This was more than cleverness. This was intuition, courage, and patience working together. Humans could face danger and calm it without fighting. The human continued through the ship. exploring rooms that had been sealed for centuries. One room contained tools and devices designed for terraforming, machines capable of changing the environment of a planet. Another held records of human scientific discoveries, preserved perfectly despite 4 centuries of neglect. "This ship is more than transportation," he said. "It is a library, a tool, a protector, and now it is ready to continue its mission." As he moved deeper, the ship began repairing itself. Panels that had been corroded with rust were restored. Systems long inactive hummed to life. The aliens watched, fascinated and a little fearful. Every time the human acted, the ship responded faster, almost as if it recognized him as its rightful leader. Then, the human paused before a large console at the center of the ship. Holograms of human explorers from centuries ago appeared, moving as if alive. They were teaching, explaining, and guiding, but their words were in an old language. The human listened carefully, understanding each gesture and symbol. "These were the ones who came before me," he said. "They built this ship to survive, to protect knowledge, and to guide future humans. I am the one who awakens them now." A sudden movement caught everyone's attention. A large holographic projection showed a planet in chaos. Storms raged, and structures collapsed under natural disasters. The human studied it carefully. "This colony was lost," he said. "It has waited too long, but we can restore it." He pressed a series of symbols, and the ship hummed even louder. Automated repair drones began assembling tools and devices, preparing for a journey. The aliens realized that this was not just a ship. It was a machine capable of restoring human colonies, of rebuilding lost worlds. One of the aliens, shaking slightly, asked, How can you do this alone?" The human smiled, faint but confident. "Because this is what humans do. We adapt, we survive. We solve problems no one else can. That is why this ship responds to me." The ship vibrated as if agreeing. The energy flows pulsed brighter, casting moving shadows along the walls. The human moved to the main control room, where a large viewport showed the jungle outside. Vines still clung to the ship, but the human ignored them, focused on the mission ahead. "This jungle is alive," he said, "and so is this ship. Together they will help us reach the stars again." The aliens followed, still amazed. They had studied humans, but this was beyond science. Humans were not just clever. They were brave, adaptable, and filled with a determination that no technology could match. Here, in a ship lost for 4 centuries, one human could command the impossible. Suddenly, the ship vibrated violently. Panels shook. Drones flew erratically. A warning flashed on the main console. "External threat detected." The human did not panic. Instead, he analyzed the display calmly, his mind moving faster than any machine. "It's a defense protocol," he said. "It's testing us." He raised his hands and moved them slowly, guiding the drones and systems. The alarms ceased. The threat vanished as if the ship recognized that he was in control. The aliens stared. They had witnessed courage and intelligence, but what they saw now was something more. They saw mastery. Humans could not only survive, they could command, inspire, and awaken the most ancient and complex technologies. The human turned to them. "This is only the beginning. There is much to learn, many colonies to restore, and a mission to continue. The past waits for us, and the future is ours to shape." The aliens nodded, understanding at last. Humans were extraordinary. Not just strong, not just clever, but capable of seeing beyond the obvious, of solving problems others could not even imagine. As the human moved further into the heart of the ship, the jungle outside seemed to quiet. Birds paused mid-flight, and even the wind seemed to hold its breath. 4 centuries of waiting had ended. Humanity was awake again, and the ship had found its master. The jungle had grown quiet. Even the wind seemed to pause as the massive ship stirred, fully awake after 4 centuries of silence. Vines that had wrapped its hull began to retract, almost reverently, revealing the gleaming metal beneath. Light from the ship's panels cut through the green gloom, illuminating the forest like a small sun. Inside, the human moved swiftly, his hands guiding consoles, touching panels, and speaking softly to the ship. It hummed in response, as if alive, as if listening. The aliens followed, amazed and respectful, no longer trying to interfere. Here was a human who could command an entire vessel lost to time, and the ship obeyed his instincts alone. "Systems check complete," the human announced. His voice was calm, but it carried authority. Navigation, propulsion, energy reserves, all stable. The ship is ready. One of the aliens, still wide-eyed, asked, "And the colonies? Can we really restore them?" The human smiled faintly. "We will. This ship was built for it. And humans, we never give up. We solve what seems impossible." He walked to the bridge, a room filled with glowing controls, holographic star maps, and a view of the jungle canopy below. The stars above were hidden behind thick clouds, but the ship's sensors revealed the galaxy beyond, distant and inviting. The human's hands hovered over the main console, moving with an ease born of intuition and experience. "Prepare for launch," he said. The ship's engines thrummed, vibrating through the hull. The jungle seemed to shake, leaves fluttering and vines swaying as if in response. The aliens held their ground, feeling a mixture of awe and fear. 4 centuries of waiting had ended, and the human was about to command the impossible. The ship lifted slowly, tearing free from the forest floor. Roots snapped harmlessly as mechanical systems adapted, holding the craft steady. Birds scattered into the sky, and distant creatures watched silently, sensing the power and significance of the moment. "Watch carefully," the human said. "This is what humans can do when we face the unknown." The aliens watched as the massive vessel rose above the jungle canopy. It shimmered in the morning light, a combination of old technology and living energy. Systems that had been silent for centuries now pulsed with life, guided entirely by one human mind. Once in orbit, the human activated the navigation system. Star maps expanded, showing distant human colonies, some lost, some struggling, some completely abandoned. One by one, the coordinates pulsed, indicating paths the ship could follow. "This is our next destination," he said, selecting a distant planet. "The colony here has waited far too long. It is time to restore it." The aliens observed in silence as the ship's engines flared, propelling it toward the stars. The vessel moved not just with raw power, but with purpose. It was as if the ship itself understood the mission, responding to the human's intent and knowledge. "Your species, humans," one alien finally said, "you are unlike any we have seen. You do not rely only on technology. You guide it, you understand it, you awaken it." The human glanced at them, calm but proud. "That is what makes us human. We adapt, we learn, we face challenges others cannot, and we never stop trying." Hours passed in silent travel through the galaxy. The human monitored the ship, adjusting systems, anticipating obstacles, and ensuring everything functioned perfectly. Every alien present could see the difference between a human and their species, not in strength or numbers, but in thought, courage, and insight. Finally, the lost colony came into view. The planet was scarred, overgrown, and nearly uninhabited. Structures were crumbling, and the environment had begun to reclaim everything humans had built. Yet the ship responded immediately, deploying drones and repair systems. Automated arms extended, repairing structures and clearing debris. Fields, once barren, began to glow with new energy as terraforming devices activated. The human guided every action, using both intellect and instinct. The aliens helped where they could, but it was the human's vision that shaped the recovery. He moved through the colony, overseeing repairs, directing energy flows, and ensuring that life could return. "This is just the beginning," he said softly. "We will restore every colony, reclaim every lost world. Humans do not leave things broken forever. We fight, we endure, and we rebuild." The aliens looked on, witnessing courage, wisdom, and persistence in action. Machines that had been dormant for centuries were now fully functional, responding to a single human mind. They realized that humans were not just explorers, they were creators, leaders, and problem solvers. As night fell on the planet, lights glowed across the colony. The drones and machines worked tirelessly, guided by the humans' knowledge and determination. Small plants sprouted where soil had been dead. Structures were repaired with precision. Energy grids hummed with power. Humanity was returning, not in numbers, but in strength, ingenuity, and will. The human stepped outside, looking at the stars above. "This is why we exist," he said to the aliens, who could only nod in silent agreement. "To explore, to endure, to create, and to ensure that life continues." He returned to the ship's bridge and initiated a communication system. Messages recorded centuries ago flickered to life, transmitting instructions, guidance, and encouragement to those yet to return. The human smiled faintly. The past and future were now connected, and the ship was the bridge between them. "Humanity is not lost," he said. "It has only been waiting for someone to awaken it." The aliens watched, inspired. They had seen advanced civilizations, powerful machines, and incredible strategies. Yet nothing compared to the combination of courage, intelligence, and determination embodied by this human. It was proof that humans were extraordinary, capable of feats beyond imagination. The jungle ship, once buried for centuries, now soared across the stars, guided by a human who understood both the technology and the mission. The lost colonies would be restored. The galaxy would witness the return of humanity, and the legends of one human who awakened the impossible would echo across worlds. The ship trembled lightly, as if in agreement. The human's eyes shone with determination. The universe had challenges ahead, but he was ready. And so, humanity triumphed not by sheer force but by courage, intelligence, and heart. Lost worlds were reclaimed, ancient technology revived, and one human proved that even after centuries, humanity could rise again, unstoppable and brilliant. The stars awaited, and the human led the way.